Hello, this is Greg Elson, Green Griggs, coming to you on 2 August 22. Time on deck is 21:4200 hours Central Daylight Time. My friends, Pelosi is in Taiwan, as you probably well know. And guys, it's a powder keg. Uh, there's a lot of tension. The tension is thick. I'm going to tell you what, guys. I think the risk of nuclear war right now is the greatest it has been since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, this does not mean there will be a nuclear war, but holy smoke, guys, the risk is way too high. That and just have our grid taken down. So we got a lot to talk about here. I'm going to kind of go through some of the risks as I see it, and I'm going to tell you how China actually plans to fight and beat the United States of America. I'm going to tell you that. I'm just going to show you more background about what's going on here. And so buckle up, guys. We got to get ready. This is part of my eyes wide open and head on the swivel series, guys, because you need to be aware of what's going to come. And so, as a proposition, my channel helps you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. So it covers a lot of ground. So subscribe to my channel, bang the update notification bell, and click all so you get more of these videos. And I will be doing more worm videos very soon too, because that is the ultimate prepping business, and I'll describe that really soon, as I'm about to be selling worms again. Alrighty, so guys, listen, you need to be prepping. If you're not prepping, you're not aware of what's going on in the world around you. Prep everywhere you can. Go to that store and buy those dried beans and rice and things that's going to last you for a long time. But I tell you what, you really need food that's going to last you a very long time, and long-term storage is very helpful if you can afford it. But let me tell you what, guys, I'm going to do a share right here real fast. Share screen. All you got to do is go to prepwithgreg.com. And right now we got specials. I don't know. There's a timer on here suggesting these deals are going to end soon. So you need to pay attention. There's a $50 off the 1 month supply. And I know that. And there's also $150 off of a 3 month supply. Get it while these goods are available at these prices, because guys, they've had these prices for some time and food inflation has been going up. Now that might look like a lot. That's actually less than $3 a meal when you work it out. It is less than $3 a meal. You get 2,000 calories a day. See, 16 varieties, 2,000 calories a day. It says at least. This is a lot more than what the competitors offer and what they claim is a long-term food storage, guys. So check it out. Get it while you can. But the cool thing about it, and this is the kind of food it reconstitutes the real food. This stuff is lightweight, easy to bury, easy to store, easy to carry. And you go up here to this logo here, and it takes you to all kinds of other prepping supplies, my friend, survival items, and other food options. You can get all kind of options in here. Survival coffee, guys, that's one of the most important things in the world. Air purification, water purification, filtration. It's all in here, my friends. All the things that you need to survive and thrive, hopefully, and stay out of the hive too. But anyway, let's move on to some other stuff here. Yes, prepwithgreg.com. As you know, 21 the Chinese have been really making a lot of threats suggesting military action in the event that Pelosi went into Taiwan. Well, Pelosi went to Taiwan, and the day she went in Taiwan, there was 21 Chinese airplanes and more than a dozen fighter aircraft in what they were flying through the air defense zone of Taiwan. So they have already started showing some muscle. And here's the big thing here. All these tanks that went into a beach. This is a tourist beach. You can see people here sunbathing on the beach, and suddenly all these tanks appeared in China crossing the Taiwan Strait. Now, these appear to be amphibious type tanks, the kind that you would roll onto a beach. Maybe they could take some water. I'm going to tell you what, they're not going to be good for crossing the strait 100 miles long. These tanks are not going to be able to do that, I do not believe. But what they might do, if there was some other landing craft show up that these could board onto and then go across the strait. I do not think these tanks are in and of themselves a direct threat. And like a lot of people, this is a show of force. This is part of their saber rattling, in my humble opinion. And they're doing a lot of saber rattling, but it might get really serious because these live fire exercises are about to commence around Taiwan as we have our own warships in the area. These live fire exercises are going to start on Thursday, which I believe is the 4th, and go through Sunday, which is the 6th. Anyway, it's going to start on Thursday and go through Saturday. So they're apparently not planning these exactly when the Chinese, when Nancy will probably be gone before this starts. But what they're planning to do is they're planning to actually shoot missiles over the nation of Taiwan. Yeah, I said nation. They're planning to shoot missiles over Taiwan onto the other side where our warships are at. That is dangerous. That is very provocative to go over Taiwan and into the waters where we've got a lot of our ships. They are planning to, and they've already fired a DF-17, one of the carrier killer missiles. They got the DF-21s, the DF-17s. What they said is they're going to be doing a joint exercises of warships, aircraft, and live missile fire, live fire on all sides, all the way around Taiwan. This is going to be extremely provocative considering the forces we have in the area. And China does plan to beat the United States in missile warfare and warfare in general. Now, this is not exactly the article that tells you what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to stop the share here for just a second. Bang. Let me tell you what they're planning. According to my sources. One, it isn't a doctrine of China to take down our power grid if they're going to have a major war with us. That's part of their doctrine. That can be extremely catastrophic for the United States. As I mentioned, 9 out of 10 people could perish within a year of societal collapse if they really fry our long distance transformers, those big heavy transformers, weigh 200 to 400 tons a piece. They're custom built. It takes 18 months to get them on the loading dock. So if you ordered one, but you don't have, with everything down, you don't even have the wherewithal to order them. And by the time you might get them, you wouldn't have the people to put them together. Humpty Dumpty would have fallen and shattered. So my friends, this is a very severe situation if our grid goes down. I'm gonna come back to this in a minute. But what they're planning is cyber attacks. They fully believe their cyber attack capability is sufficient to take down our military communications. Remember, I've said many times that our military forces require an emergency action message, and they require, it's EAM. They require that, and they require also a validation of that. So it's 2 messages has to get through to the nuclear forces before they can launch. Their systems are built with inhibits where they will not and cannot presently launch unless they get both messages. So there will be no launches, no retaliation if this stuff don't get through. So they could fry our networks with EMP super weapons so those don't get through, and they could hack them. Dr. Peter Vincent Price long said that if we should have an attack or war with a major nuclear power such as China or Russia, that the attack on us would be multi-pronged. It would include cyber attack. It would include an attack on our grid by EMP, and probably direct kinetic attacks like happened in San Jose, in the Metcalf station back in April 16th, 2013, when they somebody did a dry run exercise on taking out that with AKs. So we're talking some serious business. So they wouldn't trust, they wouldn't want belts and suspenders, redundancy basically, to make sure they can accomplish their mission of taking down our ability to respond. And part of their also scenario is to take out our satellites. Now, as you know, Russia's been working, China, Russia too. China has been working on and testing anti-satellite weapons. And Russia's working. Russia's developed a laser to take out satellites too. Maybe they can take out the ones a little higher up. So they are determined to take out the satellites that we would use for military command and control. So they want to take out our grid. They want to take out our comms by multiple techniques. Oh yeah, by the way, you see, Greg, how are they going to hack all this? They probably have internal components in our comm system because we buy so much stuff. We've already found apparently in one of those major transformers we got from China that it had cell phone technology built into it. This is in San Diego National Laboratory. It's being looked at right now. It had cell phone technology built into it where it would phone home basically to China and tell them what the status of that transformer was, and possibly it could shut it down or make it go into overload and burn out. So we should, why don't we, Trump passed a executive order so we wouldn't put any more Chinese components as critical in our critical power grid. And then the first day in office, Biden rescinded that. Yeah. Anyway, so well, we got a bunch of fools running this country. But I'm going to tell you what, another foolish thing that we got in this country is this whole scenario where we claim we will absorb a first strike and then retaliate. We don't have anything to retaliate with or any comms to tell people to launch at that point. That is an idiotic policy. But so, oh yeah, and they plan to massively attack our military bases in the region, Taiwan, Okinawa, perhaps even our military bases in South Korea and Japan. Massive missile attacks on U.S. forces in the region. So they want to take out our forces that are there. This is like Pearl Harbor times a zillion. They want to take out our forces there, take out our comms, and you won't have so much space debris. We probably can't do anything in space for decades if this happens. You won't have satellites, all these little things you play with. Even if we had a power grid, if they take out all those satellites, you're not going to be on your internet or on your phone. It's over. Zzz, zzz. If the grid's down, it don't matter if those are up or not. You still ain't going to communicate with. It's over. Zzz, zzz. Everything that you rely on in life, water gets pumped, fuel gets pumped, all using electricity. Electricity is the single most keystone element of all our distributed systems, key critical systems, about 14 to 21 that we require to survive. They all go down when the power goes down, my friends. It would be a very ugly day in America. So I'm going to come back to this. I am going to come back to this discussion in a little bit. But guys, so what they're planning to do is to take out our power, our comms, our military satellites, which we also use to have intel to coordinate, and to send those EAMs, by the way. So everything that we could use to send an EAM and validation, they want to take it out. And who knows, they might even launch a strategic attack on our missiles forces, our strategic forces, our bombers, and the submarine bases right here in America. That's a possibility. If they don't, Russia might, because that's also what Russia would do. Dr. Peter Vincent Pry has talked about this many times on my channel, and he's also talked about it on Canadian Prepper's channel. So he has been out there telling everybody what they might expect, and we've been hearing this for some time. I've had many videos of Dr. Pry on these topics. So, and guys, this is serious. And also, as you might have seen my video with David Pyne talking about the prospects of China hitting Taiwan by October. There are people that believe that that was a strong prospect from weeks ago. And this, all this stuff makes it even more likely because these missile drills. China really can't go into Taiwan just right now. The sea states are too rough. That's another reason. Those tanks aren't going to make it. So they need better sea states to mount a full invasion force going into Taiwan. But they could do several things in the meantime. They could blockade Taiwan. Blockade is an act of war, by the way. And they could just start softening Taiwan up with just hitting with missile after missile after missile after missile after missile. Taiwan's got missiles to shoot back. But if China's willing to absorb that, which, if they want to take Taiwan militarily, then that's something they've signed on the risk to take. So they would want to deplete Taiwan's missiles before and cause them to counterattack before they send their forces across the water, because they don't want anything hitting those forces, or it'd be like sitting ducks. So yeah, they would want to have a missile war first, and that could begin at any time. It would predate the invasion by weeks, I would suppose. A missile war, and missile war could start anytime. And in this live fire exercise, we're shooting missiles over Taiwan. Well, they might claim it's just an exercise, but suddenly, like the exercise of having troops around Ukraine, it might just go active. Special operation. Oops, our missiles fell short. They actually hit Taiwan. Oops. Oh, they keep hitting Taiwan. Who knows? That would definitely vote provocation from Taiwan and perhaps America too. And if they blockade Taiwan, we could respond by blockading China. That would be catastrophic to the Chinese economy. You got to remember, why do we care about Taiwan? Well, because most of the chips we get that operate our vehicles, our cars, our computers, and just about everything we use in American life is coming out of Taiwan. Our cell phones, satellites, well, those chips are vital to our economy right now. We've built an economy where everything is controlled by a dadgun chip. For better or for worse, that's what it is. And without China, without Taiwan, we don't get those chips. That means all kind of consumer goods are not going to be good. But here's the other thing. Think of all the junk we buy from China, from the People's Republic of China. They're both China, by the way. The Republic of China is what is the official name of Taiwan. Republic of China. It was founded, I believe, in 1912. It predates and pre-exists the People's Republic of China. The People's Republic of China was created by the Chinese Communist Party. Oh yeah, by the way, the Chinese military does not belong to the nation of the People's Republic of China. It belongs to the Chinese Communist Party. It is a military that belongs to a political party. 100%. People's Liberation Army, PLA. The Navy is called People's Liberation Army Navy. Funny name, plan. But so that's what it is, guys. If they put these missile strikes all around Taiwan, who's to say they might not just decide to zero in? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could happen. So don't say Greg said that this is what's going to happen. We're looking at the art of what is possible. And we do know that China wants to take Taiwan. It may be that this is their last best chance to do it. While Russia's in Ukraine. Oh yeah, we got a war on the potential starting up between Kosovo and Serbia again. North Korea would probably be prodded to move on South Korea, keep some of our troops busy in that peninsula, so that we would be tied up there. Because we have an alliance with South Korea, we would definitely be tied up there if little Kim made a move, and that might be part of this whole thing. And little Kim would love to make a move into South Korea, but he's not going to do it unless we're also tied up in other stuff. So having us concerned about Taiwan and Kosovo and Serbia and Russia's activities in Ukraine. Oh yeah, there's Iran. There's Iran. Oh guys, so we're in a pickle, guys. So China believes that they can fight and beat us, and so does Russia. Putin suddenly started making some mealy-mouthed things that, oh, a nuclear war must never be fought and cannot be won. He's repeated that mantra. He's never said that before. When he starts saying it, you got to wonder if now if he's blowing smoke, he actually intends to launch one. So I want to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So, excuse me, guys. I'm still in the recovery phase. If those that don't know, I had the cerveza beer bug, if you know what I mean. All right, let's go back here to share screen again. I'm going to show some of these articles. This article didn't quite go into the depth of what I was talking about, but this is part of their talking about their plans to beat us in a war. All right, this is where our ships are at, roughly. This is where our carriers at sea are. Ronald Reagan is actually up here around Taiwan. It's right about here. But look, the USS Tripoli, the Abraham Lincoln, we got 3 carriers in this area right now. 3 carriers. That's how serious this is. That's the bulk of what we got at sea. We got one over here, probably ready for Kosovo or something else, Black Sea. And we got one over here, probably in case Russia moves into the Baltic states or Poland or something like that. So we got, and I believe this carrier is under the command of NATO, if I understand correctly, if I recall, or it was at one time. So we've got a lot of stuff out here. Look here, wait a minute, we got the American ESG. Wait, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 carriers in there. Excuse me, 4 carriers in this area right here, guys. 4 aircraft carriers. This is serious. When have we ever had so many in one spot like that? Only when we're really anticipating warfare. And they could be targeted. They could be targeted. Now, I was talking about part of the Chinese thing to hit U.S. military bases. This article tells you about troops. This article does not cover Guam. This talks about the number of troops in China and South Korea, the number of U.S. troops in China and South Korea. But let's see, where is it? In Guam, we got over, where is it? It's highlighted one time. There we go. Guam has a population of 153,836 residents. Every resident in Guam is an American citizen, including all the natives. This is an American territory. Everyone there gets to vote in the U.S. presidential election. Okay. Out of these, approximately 221,700 are military members, and then there's their families. Those military members plus their families who come from, right here in Maine, USA for the most part. So you got 21,700 and 71,000, that 21,700, you can round it up to 22 almost. So we got about 97,000 American troops, almost 100,000 troops in harm's way, plus their families. So guys, this is very significant. Far more people than we had in Pearl Harbor alone. This could be far, far, far bigger than a Pearl Harbor operation. I just wanted you to see that. Oh yeah, you need to see this video, guys. I think I got the sound muted. Let's see if I can blow it up. Hope I don't get a hit on this. I've seen other channels play it. Let's see. This is just a recent Chinese video announced about their plans for an attack. So you can see that they're putting out their propaganda big time. I won't play any more of this, but this is a long video. I don't want to get a hit. I think this is a government video, so it is a government video. So yeah, it's got the government pat chip there, the government seal. So there should not be a hit for putting this on, but who knows? Why YouTube these days? My friend, I had a friend who's got a channel who was playing stuff in the White House, which is absolutely not copyrightable, and he was getting strikes from platform. Guys, if you've never prepped, you need to consider it. Right now is the time to get your preps in order. Right now is time to get your life in order, time to get your family in order, time to get right with your maker. And let's start organizing groups in this country to work together and maybe hopefully form some survival groups, survival tribes, mutual assistance groups. This is what we need to do. And this is what the Survival Tribe Network was set up to do. And we're going to fix it one day. We've got all these going to be packed with information here. But this is a new website. My friend Wise Al put this together. And for political action, you can go here, read more, and this takes you to the Freedom Restoration Foundation, which I developed that website, and I pay for that. Wise Al has paid out of her pocket dearly to set this one up. So, guys, we are bringing you more than just, oh, look, let's go down in the barrel, run, hide. I'm here with solutions, things that we can do. Most channels don't have this kind of stuff for your availability. But this is the kind of stuff, the services I've been trying to set up for you guys. So we got our Survival Tribe Network guys here. This is Wise Al, and this is me. This is about my worm farm. This is her survival art group, guys. So absolutely, guys. I'm standing in the Oprah for us. Now, the wise thing to do when you sign up for the Survival Tribe Network is use a moniker for your name like Wise Al does. Now, I know what her actual name is. Some people are signing up in here with their own name. That's okay. I did. But, you really consider how much actual information you want to put out about yourself. What it's going to show is your general location in terms of city and state, and an email that we can use to contact you. You can create your own email just for this use. And it can be an email that doesn't say who you're at. So nobody knows where your preps are. You don't want to tell people where your preps are or that you got preps. That's not a good thing to put out on a public place. But so that's just set up a moniker, like you have a handle on YouTube. You can make it the same or different, Wise Al has used her YouTube moniker for the most part, although hers is slightly different. on YouTube, but it's got Wise Owl in it. So just bear in mind, you can come in here and join. And when you join, you'll be filling out certain information. And like I said, just use a moniker. Now you can actually use your name here, but what's going to show up? No, use a moniker. Use a moniker. You want to put your name? Well, that's okay too. We need an email. You're going to have to set yourself up a password. And yeah, your username, it should be what shows up there, not your actual name. And we got city, state, and we're just trying to get some information about skills so that we will know, and you can add some other stuff in here. What the purpose of this is so guys like me, there's already several people on here from Alabama, and a couple of them I didn't know about that are in my area that I'm going to contact them and say, hey, look, I got a group here. Let's work together. There's also another group of us that meet together here in North Alabama also under something called NARTnet, which is similar to this, but it's local. If this is nationwide, and who knows, it might go worldwide because people in other countries want to prep too. There's nothing saying anybody in the world can't join this. So people need to form their communities. You need to get ready. So what you can do when you come in here, when you do the community search, you will find names and contact numbers below. And if it's somebody that looks interesting to you, like they might be in your area, and you want to talk to them, you can call them. You can send them an email, and you can start conversing with them. And if they sound like a strong prospect, you might share phone numbers and start talking, get together, and meet and determine if you want to form a mutual assistance group, if you want to have your property, whoever wants to be the host of a group, if you want to have a survival tribe, how you want to coordinate that. There's a lot of things that you can do working together here. And that's part of the idea, because guys, as a lone wolf prepper, I'm not talking about a wolf prepper. A wolf prepper is the predator, but the lone wolf prepper is the individual trying to do it on their own. You're going to have a bad day one day. You might be the best in the West with shooting spit wads, but I'm going to tell you what, one day you're going to be a little bit off, and that's the day they'll get you. So, yeah, the Billy Raisin, you should see my video on that. Anyway, my friends, this is what we need to know, what we got to get ready for. And of course, there's the contact in here. There's announcements section, and a lot more that's going to be coming up in here, guys. A lot more is going to be coming up in this system. So please go to that. And like I said, I try to come in here with solutions, guys. I try to bring you things that you can do to get ready yourself. And this is one of our biggest things right now. So I got that. I got the Freedom Restoration Foundation, because we're working to restore our freedoms. And we're going to be doing a video real soon about this whole nug ban. If you follow my channel, you know what I mean when I say nug ban. Nug grab that came out of the House, and we'll be going to the Senate. We need to nix that. So we'll be talking about that in a video. And we'll do a showcase of the Freedom Restoration Foundation really soon, another one based on this action that we all need to be taking. All right, my friends, please get ready, be prepared, get right with your family, with your maker, with your friends, form these networks, and just be ready for whatever's coming. Can't tell you when or what. But oh yeah, you got to remember, this is the month. In a couple of weeks, less than a couple of weeks from now, China, Iran, and North Korea, and Russia are going to be holding joint military exercises where? Venezuela. And I've been concerned from way back that Venezuela would be the optimum place for an EMP sneak attack on the United States. And then what happens? My friend Stacy Zavicki approaches me a couple of years back. Greg, I've had this vision. And that's exactly what she saw in her vision. My mind went boom. You're kidding me. This lady who's a dairy hen had a vision that it would take a military tactician expert, military strategist expert to figure out the dimensions of this. She didn't even know what an MP was. She had this vision. She calls me seeking answers. And I'm going, I've done several videos about this since. So this could happen. This could happen. Let's pray it don't. Now, sometimes the prophecies are contingent about things like repenting. Think about Jonah in the whale. His mission was to preach his prophecies to, I think it was Nineveh, some other city, 2 cities, and those cities repented and did not face the wrath of the prophecies that were forecast against them. Think about it. But anyway, prayer is important. That's my humble opinion. You may not agree with that, but you can definitely get yourself ready. Okay? Bye, my friends. Everyone take care, and thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe, bang that notification bell, and click on. I think I'm going to start adding memberships to this channel, so maybe the people that actually join as members will get a little better notifications. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Greg out.